Today on the show, we have the House of Mouse headlines brought to you by laughingplace.com, your up-to-date resource for the latest Disney news every day of the week. This episode is being released on June 28th, 2023, and here's what's been going on in the world of Disney recently. An update of sorts on Shrunk, more changes to Disney Genie Plus, new details on San Francisco Square, and more.
Hear the latest news from the Walt Disney Company in today's House of Mouse headlines.
In some surprising news last week, it was announced that Disney CFO Christine McCarthy would be stepping down from her position as she takes a family medical leave of absence. However, she will still serve as a strategic advisor to the company through the end of her contract next year and will assist in the search for a new CFO. In the meantime, veteran Disney executive Kevin Lansbury will step in as interim CFO effective July 1st. In a statement, McCarthy said, "I am immensely grateful for the opportunity Bob provided me to serve as CFO of this iconic company and am proud of the work my talented team has done to position Disney to capitalize on the business possibilities that lie ahead. Although I am leaving the CFO role, I look forward to helping with the transition and will always be rooting for the success of my extended Disney family, who have shown time and again that determination, teamwork, and the pursuit of excellence are an unstoppable combination." After appearing at Disney California Adventure and the Disney Cruise Line last year, the Sanderson sister versions of Minnie, Daisy, and Clarabelle are headed to Magic Kingdom. Disney has announced that the stylish trio will appear in the Boo-to-You parade during this year's Mickey's Not-So-Scary Halloween parties. Of course, guests will also be able to see the real Sanderson sisters during the delightful Hocus Pocus Villain Spelltacular that also performs as part of the popular party. As a reminder, Mickey's Not-So-Scary Halloween parties will take place on select nights from August 11th through November 1st this year, with tickets on sale now. With the completion of San Francisco Square getting closer, the Disneyland Resort has revealed some more details about the area. Starting in mid-July, you'll be able to sample new San Francisco selections at Lucky Fortune Cookery, while the Port of San Francisco service area will also officially open. In the weeks following, additional dining options, unique shopping, and more will be introduced through mid-August. When the transformation is completed, locations across the area, from the Cappuccino Cart outside the San Francisco Gate Bridge to the Bakery Tour, will be decked out in street art and colorful banners celebrating the Big Hero 6 team after their victory over Yokai. Yes, that's right. The Bakery Tour, or at least some part of it, will still be around, and the Aunt Cass Cafe will continue serving bread bowl items. Elsewhere, guests will have the opportunity to interact with Hero and his huggable healthcare companion Baymax, who will say hello outside the Hamada Bot Shop. Near the Hamada Bot Shop will be the San Francisco Makers Market, a storefront stocked with unique apparel, homewares, and more featuring Baymax and friends. In addition to these locations, you can expect new menu items at Cucina Cucamonga and Ghirardelli Soda Fountain and Chocolate Shop. So get ready for a mix of familiar and brand new as San Francisco Square is unveiled throughout the summer. With Marvel's Secret Invasion now streaming on Disney+, Nick Fury has finally made his Avengers Campus debut at Disney California Adventure. In the land, Fury recruits guests of all ages in an all-new interactive experience. The new show features Fury as he teaches the guests one of 5 topics in the art of espionage. Per usual, it's unclear how long this new offering will be available or if other additions will come to the land as the show's season continues. As always, we'll just need to keep an eye on Avengers Campus as the land regularly evolves. Disney-branded television has announced a new series aimed at preschoolers and inspired by both the live-action and animated classic, The Little Mermaid. Disney Junior's Ariel will follow a young Ariel and feature some fan-favorite characters, including King Triton, Ursula, Sebastian, and Flounder, as well as exciting new additions. She'll also embark on fun-filled, action-packed mermaid adventures with her friends. Plus, throughout the series, the multicultural diversity of the Caribbean is highlighted through music, food, festivals, fashion, language, and folklore. Disney Junior's Ariel is set to debut on Disney platforms worldwide in 2024. In celebration of the Disney Plus original series American-Born Chinese, the Walt Disney Company will be offering an opportunity to watch select episodes of the series on platforms including ABC, Hulu, Roku, and YouTube. This past weekend, ABC aired the first episode of the show, while the same episode will be available to view on YouTube through July 23rd. Meanwhile, Roku will feature the first 3 episodes now through July 10th, and Hulu will offer them through July 9th. Of course, you can catch all 8 episodes of American-Born Chinese Season 1 on Disney Plus right now. Piano virtuoso Lang Lang is getting his own special on Disney Plus showcasing his recent album, The Disney Book. The brand new special, Lang Lang Plays Disney, will feature performances of classic Disney music on piano backed by an orchestra. As Lang explains in a trailer for the special, songs from Mary Poppins, Frozen, Mulan, Beauty and the Beast, and more will be performed in a classical music style. Lang Lang Plays Disney will premiere on Disney Plus on September 15th, and the album The Disney Book is now available on streaming platforms and elsewhere. The popular Disney Plus original series High School Musical: The Musical the Series is coming to an end. Disney has announced that the 4th and final season of the show will premiere on August 9th. Plus, unlike previous seasons, all 8 episodes from the season will be available on that date. This season of the show will see the Wildcats returning to East High, where they prepare a stage production of High School Musical 3 Senior Year. But in a meta-twist signature to the series, plans are disrupted when Disney announces the long-awaited High School Musical 4 The Reunion movie will shoot on location at their beloved high school. Catch the final episodes of High School Musical: The Musical the Series on August 9th. While little is known about the announced sequel, Frozen 3, there is apparently one big piece of news about the project, and that is that Jennifer Lee will not be returning to Helmet. According to The Wrap, Lee recently told an interviewer, "I can't say where we are with Frozen 3. All our stories are driven by the artists in the studio. Where we're going with Frozen did not come from me. It came from an incredible person." While Lee stopped short of saying who that was. Of course, with Lee serving as Chief Creative Officer for Walt Disney Animation Studios, she'll still have plenty of influence and input on the film. No release date for Frozen 3 has been set just yet, but was announced by CEO Bob Iger along with follow-ups to Zootopia and, once again, Toy Story. With the WGA strike still going strong and the threat of a SAG-AFTRA strike on the horizon, Disney has made a number of changes to its theatrical release slate. First, Marvel films such as Captain America: Brave New World, Thunderbolts, Blade, Fantastic Four, and 2 Avengers films have been pushed back, while Deadpool 3 will actually move up by a few months to May 3rd, 2024. Also delayed are the next several Avatar films, with the 3rd installment moving back a year to December 2025. Avatar 4 and 5 were moved even further into the future and will now arrive in 2029 and 2031, respectively. As for other changes, an untitled Star Wars project was added for December 2026, and the live-action Moana is now slated for June 27th, 2025. LEGO clearly has its eyes on the wallets of Disney fans as they've revealed release dates for 2 new sets. First, the LEGO Ideas winning Hocus Pocus Sanderson Sisters Cottage set is being released next month and will be available on Shop Disney July 1st. This set contains 6 minifigures: Winifred, Sarah, and Mary Sanderson, Max and Danny Dennison, and Allison Watts, plus there's the Thackeray Binks in cat form. The 2,316-piece set will retail for $299.99. Meanwhile, LEGO is also releasing a new version of its popular Disney Castle set. This one will celebrate the 100th anniversary of the company, and will not only feature the castle itself, but also references from 14 classic Disney films over the last 100 years, such as Steamboat Willie and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, to The Princess and the Frog and Moana. With the set containing 4,837 pieces, it also carries a hefty price tag at $399.99. This set will also be available on July 1st to LEGO VIPs, followed by a public release on July 4th. While Pixar's latest film, Elemental, may not have lit up the box office, fans can still collect toys inspired by the movie by visiting their local McDonald's. Following the release of Little Mermaid toys last month, Elemental Happy Meal toys are now available at participating locations. This set includes 2 versions of both Ember and Wade, as well as Gale, Bernie, Claude, and Lutz. So be sure to get your Elemental Happy Meal toys before they blow away. And now it's time to bring in Kyle Burbank from laughingplace.com. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, Jeff. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. Welcome back. It's been 2 weeks, hasn't it?
It sure has. And what a 2 weeks it's been.
June is almost over.
Yeah.
It's insane. Anywho, let's just jump right into it because Rogers the Musical, we got some news. I know you're very excited about this. I'm actually going to experience it for the media day on the 29th. I'm going to cover it for Attractions Magazine, which means I'm most likely going to see our pal Mike there covering it for Laughing Place. Of course. And Rogers the Musical is scheduled to perform several times per day, Tuesday through Saturday, most weeks during its limited time engagement. Now, I believe this is the first time we're actually getting an end date because they're giving us the dates of June 30th through August 31st, 2023. So as of right now, there really is an end date, meaning truly limited engagement at this point.
Does that timing give you hope that there'll be some sort of Halloween production?
Yes, 1,000%. That is the thing that I saw. I said August 31st. That's also when Wondrous Journey ends. And also, is World of Color 1 ending then as well? There's several things ending then for Halloween. I am convinced we are finally getting a Halloween production. Whether it's part of, daytime DCA, probably not. My guess is it's Oogie Boogie Bash related, but that's cool. I don't know that it's necessarily going to be a Sanderson Sisters show, but I think we're getting a Halloween production. What is your gut saying?
I mean, that was my first thought. I don't have any inside knowledge, but again, it was just purely based on the date.
I'm just going to say, I'm not going to say anything.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Can I call out something, though? If people are planning their trip for this, in addition to being dark on every Sunday and Monday, they did mention July 13th to the 15th, I believe, is going to be dark. So watch out for that. Make sure you check the times and stuff.
Yeah, I still find the Sunday dark theater thing to be a weird choice. I guess unless they're using this to bring crowds in on their non-popular days, but then you'd argue, why have it Saturday? I don't know. It's a weird choice to not have a show on Sundays, but
I'm sure it makes sense to somebody.
Yeah. And guess what? You'll be able to access viewing areas for Rogers the Musical through a virtual queue system, available only via the Disneyland app. Of course, this is the new thing. And anything new, they got a virtual queue system. Each day that Rogers the Musical is performing, distribution for the complimentary virtual queue will begin at 10:30 a.m. for the first 2 showtimes of the day and 2 p.m. for the remaining showtimes of the day. Joining the virtual queue is not required, but it is highly recommended. Additional viewing for each performance may be available via a standby queue on first-come, first-served basis if capacity allows. So at least, there's the option. I can't stand it when it's only virtual queue because it can be very stressful. Also happy this isn't just a lightning lane sort of situation.
There's a little bit of that we'll get to. Not a lightning lane per se, but...
Yeah, so there is a bunch of kind of add-on stuff. Do you want to talk a bit about that?
So they're going to have a premium viewing package, which we found is going to be $29. It includes a popcorn bucket with the red, white, and blue kettle corn. You'll be first into the theater, so you don't have to choose where you want to sit. It's not a reserved seat, but you get first crack at seats. And I think you also get a Coke or two or something in there. But yeah, it's $29 and it can be purchased at a couple of different places in the park.
This production, I think, is going to make some money. They get some specialty sort of stuff that you can only get.
Maybe you get a special lanyard with that package as well.
Yeah, so there's collectible. And listen, a 2-month run in the history of Disney parks, if you're somebody who really likes limited time entertainment and stuff like that, this is a historic moment. Who knows? Maybe this will be just a new summer sort of thing for DCA, but who really knows what's going on with that theater and everything? I don't, but I don't know. This has the potential for being a very limited run of something made for that specific purpose, as opposed to just being cut short because of not being popular or something. So the collectors out there, may really like to take part in this sort of thing. And $29 seems reasonable for what you're getting, right?
People that I talked to thought this would be more expensive, especially because you actually do get some actual perks, not just paying for the seat. So yeah, if you compare this to what you get with a lightning lane, I think it's not a bad deal.
Yeah, especially if like you're super into this. And, I'm sure there are a lot of people who will be going to the park, one time in the summer. They either aren't magic key holders or they're at a level where it's, constantly blocked out in the summer. And they may only have one opportunity to see this. So, yeah, the clock's going to be ticking the second this thing opens. And I'm looking forward to it. I still need to go and watch like the TV version of it. I still haven't seen it.
It's very short, so you could totally accomplish that.
Yes, I can accomplish that. I hope Disney Plus didn't put a commercial break right in the middle of the musical number.
That would be painful. I think there's also, you could probably watch it on YouTube. I think they have like an extended version of it, so you could just watch that.
All right, cool. Shall we move on a bit?
Of course.
All right. Walt Disney World has revealed a new nighttime holiday party coming to Disney's Hollywood studios. Disney Jollywood Nights will be a new separately ticketed event coming this holiday season. Disney Jollywood Nights will run on 10 select nights from November 11th through December 20th. Guests will have access to the event from 8:30 p.m. till 12:30 a.m. Event tickets are $159 to $179 per ticket, and they go on sale to the general public on July 6th. So first off, this is kind of unexpected and kind of exciting.
Yeah, it's not something I would have expected. And for those wondering, your immediate thought is, well, does this happen on some of the same nights as Not So Scary? And from what I've seen, I think they're on alternate
Not
nights.
So Scary? You mean Mickey's Very Merriest?
Yeah, whatever. That one. Yeah, sorry. Mickey's not... Nope, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. You're not having double parties. They're not going to shut down two parks early on the same night.
Yeah, so this is what's kind of interesting about this. It's one of those things, these parties sell very, very well, right? But like Mickey's Very Merriest Christmas Party is at its max. It can't start any earlier because of Halloween. And they can't really add more nights. I mean, technically they could, but they'd be pissing off a lot of just regular resort guests if they added any more parties. And then you can really only go so far into January with this sort of thing until people are like, we get it, we're done with the holidays. So they really have hit their max as far as hard ticket events for Christmas at Magic Kingdom. So the only solution is, and it's kind of a smart solution, is make a second party in a second park. And that's what they're doing. And listen, I don't think this will be as grand as the Magic Kingdom one because it's far fewer nights, but I still think it's pretty cool. I didn't compare ticket prices. Is this a bit cheaper?
So yeah, for Very Merry, it starts at the same $159, but it goes up to $199. So it's kind of in the same range, but there's probably, especially as those get closer to Christmas and stuff, is probably when they get a little bit pricier, but they're comparable, I'd say.
Okay, so not much cheaper in the long run. And like you said, the lowest price is the same. So, all right, well, let's talk about some of the little details that come with this party, because guests will be welcomed to Disney Jollywood Nights. By the way, really like the name.
I sing Bob Seger every time I hear it, but other than that, Jollywood Nights and the Jollywood Hills.
Well, they better play that song at the party. I'm not familiar with it, but they better play it.
Yeah, they better make a remix with saying Jollywood.
Exactly. So there we go. Guests will be welcome to Disney Jollywood Nights with a DJ spinning a mix of holiday tunes. Commissary Lane comes to life with a lively Latin street fair. Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy host a live holiday special at Theater of the Stars with some of their Disney friends. Okay, this is the selling point, right? Like,
yep,
this is it. For me and a lot of people, I feel like this is the Muppets do the holidays so well. And to think of Kermit and Piggy like hosting a holiday special, frankly, it should be recorded for Disney Plus. Like that. They should like really shoot it well. I'm assuming it's going to be brilliant. Perhaps it won't be.
And remove it in 3 months.
And yes, and then remove it in 3 months and just bring it back for the holidays. But I mean, that's super exciting. The Hyperion Theater will host a spirited sing-along, encounter glitz and glamour galore at 2 limited capacity entertainment experiences. So this is interesting. A jazz lounge at the Hollywood Brown Derby, and an otherworldly soiree at the Hollywood Tower Hotel courtyard. So limited capacity. So is this going to be an upcharge within the upcharge?
I don't know.
Yeah, they haven't said anything about that. So it either means there's going to be some sort, maybe a virtual queue sort of system where some people get to experience it and others don't.
Well, you mentioned that they're going to use virtual queue for Rise during the party as well. So there is precedent.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I'm curious to hear more about that. And then, of course, they'll wrap up the night with the return of a festive favorite nighttime spectacular. Say it with me, Kyle. Jingle bell.
Jingle bell, jingle bam.
Let's try that again.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Jingle bell. Jingle bam. That may not line up when I edit this together. We'll see how it turns out. But guys, we're in 2 different states, so give us a break.
Be totally tinsel.
So that's coming back. And of course, there will be specialty food and character photo ops, including Powerline Max. And yeah, so that's the party. And I'm intrigued, I will say. Now, I've never done Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. So if I were going to go and only do one of them, I would probably, well, actually, I don't know. Kermit and Piggy kind of change everything. Oof, yeah. Now it gets tough.
It's not that easy being green.
It's not easy being green. Yeah, so, and red, green and red. Oh, remember their Christmas album, the Green and Red Christmas album that the Muppets put out a few years ago?
I don't, but I believe you. I have the John Denver one on vinyl.
You know what's so funny is I was literally just talking about that album earlier today with my roommate, and it's June, folks. So
it's halfway to the holidays, Jeffrey, which is why we have this news, actually. Can I ask you about this?
Yeah.
So it's been explained to me, so I understand it now. But in my mind, halfway to Christmas should be halfway between the last Christmas and the next Christmas. So it should be June 25th.
Yeah.
Disney is apparently measuring from the beginning of the year, which is why it was like 2 weeks earlier than that.
Oh, well, that's so interesting to me because I feel like most people think halfway is July 25th because there's so much Christmas in July stuff that goes on. Mm-hmm. So there's all mass amounts of like halfway to holidays confusion. They start from the beginning of the year.
Yeah, so that's why instead of going all the way to the 25th, it's like the 13th or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. It's all, buddy, it's just marketing. They just, they do the math. They're like, we got nothing to announce. Great. It's close enough to halfway to holidays. Let's do it. And yeah. Imagine if they did like halfway to Halloween based on the date of the first Mickey's Not So Scary. It would be like so much earlier. Because they start in August. So, I don't know.
Speaking of dates, yeah, that's the other thing that they're doing. In addition to these halfways, every character that has some sort of numeral tie-in will have a day celebrating them as we record this on Stitch Day, which is easily the biggest Stitch Day ever. So
yeah. Yep. 626, man. Cool. Speaking of holiday news, we got even more new holiday news because Walt Disney World will introduce a new Frozen show at Cinderella Castle in Magic Kingdom this holiday season. The show will be called Frozen Holiday Surprise, and it'll be a brand new Frozen-inspired entertainment experience that will illuminate Cinderella Castle in a whole new way. The lights are done, right?
I guess so.
I think the lights are done. Those Christmas lights, which were beautiful, I'll tell you, but number one, time-consuming, costly, and I will say for years, I haven't seen Cinderella Castle without them on there because they're up in October when I go for Halloween. Yep. So as much as I hate to see that go away because it was such a beautiful light show when it was lit, with the current technology of projection mapping and stuff, it's really not necessary. So, I don't know. I'm assuming it's the end of it. They haven't officially said, but in a whole new way makes me think not coming back. Guests will join Elsa, Anna, Olaf, Kristoff, and the Snowgies in front of the castle for the new celebration. This delightful new offering will be seen both during regular park hours and during Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. So, that's cool. At least you don't have to like pay the upcharge to experience it.
Yeah.
But Frozen's still going strong.
Apparently.
And for more holiday news, we got returning favorites like Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Ticket prices are ranging from $159 to $199, as you said. The Merry Menagerie of Winter Animals returns to Disney's Animal Kingdom, which I really like, in the form of artisan-sculpted puppets. Epcot will celebrate with the return of the Candlelight Processional during Epcot International Festival of the Holidays beginning November 24th through December 30th. And other guest favorites like Spirited Storytellers, joyful musical acts, and performers, and holiday kitchens will return to World Showcase this festive season. And Disney's Hollywood Studios will return the Yuletide projection show in the Hollywood Tower Hotel this season. And at Disney Springs, guests can shop for their loved ones while enjoying the dazzling decor and the Disney Springs Christmas tree stroll. The stroll may be nice, but I still miss the Christmas tree trail, of which I never experienced, but I liked the idea of that.
Yes, you missed the idea of it.
I do. But yeah, anything you want to add about the holidays?
June 25th is what I think is halfway to Christmas.
I would agree. So by the time people listen to this episode, we will be beyond halfway to Christmas, but just beyond. So it's Christmas in July thing. I don't know. We got to rethink it. Maybe Christmas in June needs to become a thing. I don't know. Hallmark and Lifetime, I'm sure, will start doing Christmas in June and July pretty soon, and they'll justify it for the real halfway point. Do you know they start those Christmas movies in October?
Oh, yes, I do, because I'd be very angry when I turn on and my Golden Girls wouldn't be on to be some crappy Christmas movie instead.
I love that that's the reasoning, you know. So that's a thing. And before we move on, I want to give a shout out to the newest DCTC Patreon member, Teresa Aguilar. Thank you to Teresa for supporting this show in a major way. And of course, since Teresa signed up during this month, June of 2023, she is receiving her authentic piece of Hocus Pocus history, a genuine film strip from the movie in the form of a bookmark. If you haven't yet heard, all new members joining any level of the DCTC Patreon page this month can receive that very gift themselves, in addition to other bonuses included, like the live stream Ask Me Anythings, and so much more. There are still a few days left to get that bonus Patreon gift, so sign up now. For all details, visit the Patreon link in this episode's description, and thanks again to Teresa for becoming this show's newest patron. Kyle, we got some Disney Genie Plus news, don't we?
Oh, yes, we do.
Yeah, the Disney Genie Plus service at Walt Disney World has switched to a per-park pricing basis. This means that guests attending, for example, Epcot or Disney's Animal Kingdom, may pay less than those using the service at Magic Kingdom or Disney's Hollywood Studios. Pricing will vary based on the day and projected attendance. Those looking to park hop and with a park hopper ticket will be able to buy the service for a 4-park price. There's also the possibility that different parks may sell out while other parks remain available. I mean, aren't they supposed to be making things less complicated?
You would think. I guess the only silver lining here is, for if you're going to those other two parks like Epcot or Animal Kingdom, it could be cheaper than it would otherwise be currently. But it gets worse because we asked, hey, what if somebody thinks that they're just going to go to one park, they buy it for Epcot, let's say, and then they decide they do want a park hop, can they upgrade to the multi-park? And they said, well, yes, they can, by buying what they want and then going to guest services and getting a refund for the difference. We're like, wow, really? You didn't even think about this much?
And what would the refund be? A Disney gift card or like cash in hand? Like,
we didn't get that specific.
Yeah, no, it's just messy. Didn't they figure out like attendance is down because people are stressed about planning their vacations, and then
this is separate from the thing where they're eventually going to let you buy in advance again. It sounds like they're working on something. This is not related. This is still works the same way, but you just buy it based on the day. So now, in addition to not knowing how much it's going to be per day, you won't know how much it'll be for the park that you're at. It could vary on your vacation between going to Epcot and going to Magic Kingdom the following day.
You know what? I would like to continue the erasing a Chapek trend that's been going on, and let's just erase the Genie Plus. Even if you want to bring back Max Pass or Fast Pass and charge for it, go for it. This is just at a level that is... I will tell you how, just to prove that I don't just like shout this stuff on the podcast and then go to the parks and use Genie Plus. So I'm going to Disneyland soon with a friend of mine who admittedly doesn't go nearly as often as I do. But he's like, oh, well, we got to get Genie Plus. I'm like, no, not happening. He's like, oh, well, I'll pay for yours. I'm like, no, do not pay for mine. I will be angry if you pay for mine. Now, listen, I'm not going to judge anybody if they want to do it for themselves. Everybody's got their priorities. But like, I stand on this mountain. I shout on top of it. You will not get me paying for a Genie Plus or accepting one that's been paid for. My exception is when I go to a press event and like Disney loads them for me and nobody's, allocating any dollars toward it, then I'll take advantage of it. But as far as like any monetary value going into, no, Jeff DePauli is not part of that. It's not all talk. Just saying. And my friend is not very happy with me about it. But I said, do it yourself if you want. I have no problem waiting for you. But listen, I recognize I get to go a good amount. It's been a long time since I've been to a park. And I'm like, I got to get everything in one day. It's unfortunate that this is required now to do that. But I don't buy into it. And,
well, I appreciate your integrity. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, you can, Kyle, you can always ask me a question.
Unless you're doing your Patreon plug, in which case you turn down my questions. But
don't interrupt me.
When's the last time, we've talked a lot about Genie Plus, when's the last time you heard anybody, including Disney themselves, talk about Genie? Just Disney Genie. The thing that, Disney Genie Plus is supposed to be an accompaniment to.
Yeah, we all knew that was just a facade. Like, they know it's a facade.
When did you hear about it?
Oh, when it launched. That's about it. You hear about it when it launches. It was quickly realized that, number one, it didn't really do its job well. Number two, there were a lot of things like this whole thing you were talking about with upgrading and refunding wasn't thought through. I don't know if they've even fixed any of it, but like the simplest thing for me was I just remember I tried the free version for about 5 minutes just to see what it was like for research purposes. And I just remember being like, I'm leaving this park at like 3 p.m. today, and they're making suggestions for me at 6 p.m. And there was like no way to tell it at the time, at least, that I was leaving at 3. They may have adjusted that stuff, but yeah, Disney Genie is crap. Disney Genie is an upsell machine, and then Disney Genie Plus is the upsell. So, but yeah, it's not talked about because it's not good.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I mean, I've never used it because I haven't gone to the park since it launched, but I just think that's, kind of gets lost as we're talking about all the changes to Genie Plus and individual Lightning Lane. And it's like the thing that was supposed to help disperse the people, and then this was like an add-on, is completely forgotten. I never even hear travel agents talk about it.
Yeah, the truth has been revealed. That's what that's about. Anywho, let's move on because Indiana Jones is getting ready for his final adventure in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And to celebrate, the man himself will soon be greeting guests in Adventureland at Disneyland. For a limited time this summer, beginning Friday, June 30th, guests may be able to spot Indiana Jones roaming around Adventureland at Disneyland. The last time Indiana Jones regularly appeared in Adventureland was way back, I can't believe this, in 2008. For the Summer of Hidden Mysteries. I remember that summer so well. I was such an LA newbie at that point. I don't remember being so soon after I moved here.
I wasn't in LA quite yet.
Wow. This event, the Summer of Hidden Mysteries, that was to promote Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And that one featured a stage show and a random street performance. This one doesn't sound nearly as epic, but
it's funny they call it a street performance because I remember the most part, the fight taking place on the bridge on the tree. So of course they can't do that at the moment.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Honestly, I wanted to talk about the story just to plug the next episode because I had a conversation with one of the first ever Indiana Jones performers at the Epic Stunt Spectacular, who is still with the show to this very day.
Kevin,
right.
My wife has his autograph. She pulled out her autograph book when the story came about him going to the premiere. And she found that she has his autograph. And we also realized that he might be one of the only cast members that can sign both the role and their name, because it says Indiana Jones, Kevin, and I forget what his last name is, but
Well, that's so cool. But yeah, I spoke with Kevin and he was great. And I mean, I love that stunt spectacular. I love old school Disney MGM studios. And I was like really excited to chat with him and he was awesome. And that is the next episode of Disney Coast to Coast in celebration of the 5th film hitting theaters. So make sure you check that out. And if you're at Disneyland, try and catch Indiana Jones running around. It won't be Kevin, but it'll be Indy.
And look up that, I think Disney Park shared an Instagram or TikTok or something of him meeting Harrison Ford at the Indy premiere. It's really cool.
Yeah, and of course we talk a bit about him going there as well, and what a surprise that was for him. So it's very cool. Before we leave today, I do want to rewind a little bit because I briefly mentioned the Tony Awards on the last House of Mouse headlines, and I just mentioned how Pat Carroll was included in the In Memoriam. I was remiss not to mention that Disney legend Angela Lansbury was also honored in the In Memoriam, so I wanted to make that correction right now. But I also forgot to mention that previous Disney Coast to Coast guest Michael Arden won his first Tony Award for the direction of the musical revival of Parade. Now, if you don't remember, Michael Arden was on episode 821 of Disney Coast to Coast, where we talked all about the 25th anniversary of Hunchback of Notre Dame, because Michael originated the role of Quasimodo in the musical production that Disney Theatrical produced. So Michael's a genius, like theater genius, great guy. And I really love that episode of Disney Coast to Coast. And I was really happy for him when he won his Tony Award because he'd been nominated several times. And I just wanted to, say congratulations, Michael. And very, very, very cool. Another thing I want to talk about is, remember we were talking about the Apple Vision Pro, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so somebody Anissa wrote in to talk about, I was asking, if people were excited about this, because I was, like I said, it just wasn't something that really my pulse was on. So I was curious how fans of this VR AR stuff felt about it. So Anissa wrote in saying, I wouldn't say I am an early adopter, but I do enjoy new technologies. I myself purchased what was then called the Oculus Quest 1 and currently own what is now called the Meta Quest 2. I enjoy VR as a form of entertainment and a unique experience. I play games on it and have even enjoyed some immersive video experiences such as what is available on YouTube VR. By the way, I think you would enjoy a YouTube VR video that Disney made that is basically putting you in the movie of Coco for a few minutes. I've also enjoyed videos that take me to a Star Wars ship, ride on Elliot's back from Pete's Dragon, and even experience the world of Jon Favreau's Jungle Book. Anyway, as far as the Apple Vision Pro, I am excited, kinda, but also have reservations based on current knowledge of the product. First off, the price is just too much. Even if I want it, I don't think I would purchase it at the current price tag of $3,000 plus. I would not consider purchasing until the price went down to a more affordable price that matches current video game console prices, as that is the value I put on it. That being said, I also do not see features yet that I would be interested in. If it is small AR experiences or just watching enhanced streaming services or productivity features, then that is not for me. So for this humble consumer, I have my eyes on this product to see if they put in more unique immersive experiences that I would be interested in and bring down the price. Until then, I won't be opening up my wallet. Thank you, as always, for your podcast. I thoroughly enjoy listening to how you present the facts and your opinions. These are just my opinions. So thank you, Anissa, for writing in some interesting things. So someone who is pretty into the tech is even saying, not for me yet. Not enough and too costly. So it'll be interesting to see.
And Anissa just reminded me that I've done a VR film sort of thing. Remember, they made one for Frozen that I think they ended up putting on Disney Plus just as a short film, but it was originally a VR thing. So at the junket for Frozen 2, I got to do it. I think it was called Myth or something. But it was really beautiful in VR. So I could see the value in that sort of product.
Yeah, so in any case, Anissa, thanks for writing in. If you'd like to write in, you can find my email address as well as the DCTC hotline number to call in and leave a voicemail in this episode's description. Other than that, Kyle, anything you want to add?
Well, I was wondering if you happen to see a certain tweet from Disney legend Josh Gad this week.
Of course I did. It's about Shrunk, the sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And so he basically, he said what I had heard, which is they were really, 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 really close to shooting. And then the pandemic came. And then I guess they were really close to shooting again, and he said his schedule got wacky. And then I guess he said they were really close to shooting again, and the budget got out of whack. So he's basically saying, if you want this to happen, folks, let Disney know. So let Disney know if you want this to happen. The poster was kind of fun. It must have been a fan-made poster, I assume, but it had Rick Moranis on it with the magnifying glass, and an older Rick Moranis, not like, old school Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Rick Moranis, but also like Ant-Man and Wasp were in the poster or something. Did you see that?
I actually didn't look too closely at it. I was looking at the comments more where somebody's like, if Rick Moranis isn't in it, then I don't want it. And he's like, he is.
Yeah. And I would agree with whoever wrote that comment. Here's the thing, the only reason I want it to happen is to see Rick Moranis on screen again. That's literally the only reason. I'm like, the idea of a sequel doesn't particularly excite me. It could be great. Who knows? But I'm in the same realm with Hocus Pocus. When I love an original film, I do feel like mediocre to bad sequels can tarnish the original for me. So, Hocus Pocus 2 is fine. It's not Hocus Pocus. But now that they have played with it and messed with the canon, then I'm just like, sure, have fun, I guess, at this point. And I kind of feel that way with the Honey, I Shrunk franchise. I love Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, direct-to-video, very mediocre. So considering that exists, I'm like, sure, have fun with the franchise if you want. But the only thing I'm really looking forward to is Rick Moranis back on the big screen, if and when this happens. So, yeah, but it's good to get an update from Josh Gad. Thanks for reminding me of that. And
I thought of you right away.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And do you have any thoughts on the matter?
Not really. I just... I'm glad, like you said, it's good to get an update. And, sometimes these things get reported and we forget about them. Some of them die without ever knowing about it. So it's nice to know that they are still kind of thinking about it. And, poor Josh Gad, for being a Disney legend, he's had so many Disney projects fall through, if this is one of them, because there was, the Beauty and the Beast show got delayed. He was supposed to do a different Muppet show before Muppets Mayhem happened, which he's not a part of. And yeah,
but to be fair, I think a lot of it comes down to his own busy schedule. It's now just been announced he's going back on Broadway, so it's not like the man's sitting at home twiddling his thumbs, and he got a Frozen 3 coming out, so I can't feel that bad. But yes, he's had a good amount canceled, but I just think that's the nature of the industry. And I guess the difference is these shows were getting to a point of being publicly known, as opposed to in most cases we never hear anything about stuff and it just kind of disappears.
Well, I think that's a few different things. Yes, partially because Disney has things like the D23 where they want to gin up publicity and excitement from fans, but I think the trades are way more accessible since they became online. So you already had something heightened to 10 years ago, but now you also have fans carefully watching those trades for this sort of thing. You have fan sites like us amplifying those reports and stuff. So yeah, you're right. We do have much more oversight on these things that, when someone is in talks, we're just like, oh, they're cast. And it's like, well, not exactly. And even if they are, it doesn't mean that they're staying that way. So much can change. And, we kind of lose sight of that sometimes when we just expect, well, they announced it, they must mean it.
Yeah. What if they just called the movie Shrank in order to correct the years of bad grammar that they've put upon people?
Ninja Turtles fixed that when they came out with the second they changed the Turtle Boys Don't Cut 'Em No Slack to those Turtle Boys Fight Back.
Oh, well, there you go, TMNT. Can I mention last night, a friend of mine, so there's the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie coming out.
Yeah, the Seth Rogen one.
Yeah, so my buddy and I were at the theater, we saw the trailer, and we just leaned to each other and said, nothing will beat that OG 1990 live action. And so we decided to watch it again last night, quite literally, and I hadn't seen it in well over a decade. I was shocked by how good that movie holds up. No, seriously, the people who made that movie, of course, the Jim Henson Company was involved with the creation of the turtle costumes. Everybody who made that movie cared about it. It's really good. I was shocked how well it held up. I just knew it through like the lens of a kid, and loved it. And by the way, Sam Rockwell is in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie and plays like a thug. So there's that as well. So keep your eye out for that if you go back and watch, which I highly recommend. I'm going to have to go back and watch Turtle of the Ooze, Secret of the Ooze pretty soon.
I'll have to watch that too. I mean, I'm partial to the cartoon was mine. The Saturday morning cartoon. My favorite's Raphael. And
gosh. I hate Raphael. He's my least favorite.
No. So you know the company Roosevelt's, they make t-shirt or button-up shirts. They have a Disney license, but when we were at C2E2, we went to their booth and I saw that they had a recreation. They made a shirt out of the bed sheets that I used to have as a kid. So I was able to get that, and that was really exciting.
That's awesome. I love that stuff. Nostalgia is king. Anywho, Kyle, I think that's going to do it for today. Anything else you want to add? Or are we all good?
I think now that I got your take on the Josh Gad tweet, I think we're all good.
Excellent. Well, I'll talk to you again in a couple of weeks. Thank you, sir.
You too. Bye.
To read more about any and all of the stories you've heard here today, simply visit the show notes link in this episode's description. You've heard the news, and now I want to hear what you have to say about it. What do you think of the new holiday party coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios? Does it pique your interest? Share your thoughts on that or any other topics mentioned in today's episode. Call 818-860-2569, and you may just hear yourself on a future episode of Disney Coast to Coast. Thanks for tuning into this episode. Don't miss any future episodes by subscribing and following Disney with a Z, Coast to Coast on your favorite podcast app, where episodes are available 24/7. Until next time, anything you need can be found in this episode's description. From additional information and links discussed in this episode found in the show notes, contact info to reach me, access to the show's official website, some free gifts from me to you, and so much more. So be sure to check out this episode's description. Other than that, folks, have a magical day. Bye!